Well, three newcomers here dominating the market, and that market being dominated by one above the others, Altior from the Nicky Henderson yard, who is a red-hot 4-6 favourite to make a winning debut. He's a son of High Chaparral. He cost €60,000 as a 3-year-old. What sort of horse was he, Jonathan?
He's quite big and rangy, and he looks perfectly fine. I narrowly, and I do stress narrowly, preferred Dashing Over, who was the last in the paddock by some way. Gave a bit of a whinny when he first came in, but other than that, walked round perfectly okay. And I just looked slightly more of a today horse, if you understand. You know, whereas say Malcolm Jefferson's double W's looks like more of a horse for the future, and I suspect Altior might slightly be that way. Although, obviously, Nicky Henderson's record in bumpers is, well, if not impeccable, it's pretty near it.
Malcolm Jefferson's interview, for people back home, if you missed it earlier on, we did ask him obviously about double W's. He described him as a nice horse, only 4 years old compared with some of these who are a fair bit older, and he said he'd be pleased if he wins and pleased if he runs well and delighted if he wins. So he's expecting just a nice run, I think.
Yeah, although, as you would well know, I mean, he does have he himself has a good record in bumpers, so they. The form horse is Daisy Raymond, who finished third here, but I mean the horse just behind, whose reopposes, was thrashed out of sight in Ireland, which doesn't give the form a great look on the surface of it. I wouldn't be surprised if the Henderson horse proved good enough, but if you forced me, I'd go with Dashing Over.
Yeah, 2 from 5 in bumpers here in the last 5 years, Paul Webber, and he doesn't usually book AP McCoy without a good reason, so both significant factors in trying to decide the outcome here with Dashing Over.
Do we know who won in France yet?
No, I haven't heard who won. If we've got confirmation of that, I will pass that on. But it was, to state the obvious, desperately close. 4-6 here then for Altior, and 3-1 Dashing Over. Double W's 13-2. Let's go back up for the final time and join Gareth.
Thanks, Tom. They're about to come forward, and they are off, racing away. Nobody whatsoever wants to lead. They are off and racing, but you wouldn't think it. And even for a bumper, this is slow. On the sharp end, Chandler Bing, with on the outside Altior. They are the first couple, but these horses went quick at a post. Back in third early is Dashing Over, as they make the journey on at what can only be described as a complete dawdle towards the end of the back straight. Double W's is in the green and blue checks down along the inside of Big Frank and Daisy Raymond, and 2 or 3 lengths away to Tapa Frankie, who is the back marker. So right-handed they come out of the back straight, and they've got 2.5 furlongs or so behind them. And as they make the right-handed journey, it is the market leader Altior who shows in front under Nico de Boinville, but perhaps under sufferance to be there. In second place on the outside, Dashing Over, AP McCoy on board. The white-faced Chandler Bing in third, and then a little wider out is Big Frank in the pale blue and white. The even bigger white face along the inside is Double W's. He's wearing a sheepskin noseband, and at the rear end of the field, Daisy Raymond in the red colours on the outside of Tapa Frankie. Still, they work their way on up the home straight only at little more than a canter, and up ahead it is Altior setting the pace. So Altior by about a length, but the order pretty insignificant as things stand. Dashing Over on the outside, and then along the inner Chandler Bing, followed a little wider out by Big Frank, and then Double W's. Daisy Raymond at the back end of the field, and Tapa Frankie is the back marker, no more than about 4 or 5 lengths off the pace. Well, in these types of races, they never tend to go that quick in the early stages, but this was definitely a slow start, even by bumper standards, and out they go onto the final circuit. The tempo rising a fraction here, and it is Altior by about 3/4 of a length. Nice looking horse, to in second place on the outside, Dashing Over, and then back in third, Chandler Bing, in the hands of Jack Quinlan, as they venture out towards the side, still tightly packed. Double W's is in 4th. Only just, though, for double-seeking Malcolm Jefferson and Brian Hughes, with Big Frank, who himself is a lovely looker, on the outside, and at the rear end of the field, Daisy Raymond, Paul Maloney, his only ride here today, and Tapa Frankie is at the back marker. So they're galloping now as they head off down the side of the track, going along at a slightly more generous clip as they race on past halfway. Down the back with Altior setting the fractions by about 3/4 of a length, but no speed record's going to be broken here. On the outside is Dashing Over, AP McCoy stalking Boinville's every move. And they're being chased through along the inside by Chandler Bing in the blue colours. A little wider out on the track is Double W's. One from the right, if you're watching on pictures, Big Frank. On the right, Daisy Raymond. And a couple of lengths away to Tap Out Frankie, who is the back marker. They've got 3/4 of a mile left to go, and they're about to turn right-handed out of the back straight, and shortly the dash will start to unfold, with Altior setting the pace and leading by 3/4 of a length to, in second place on the outside, Dashing Over, and then Chandler Bing to the inside of Double W's, without a little bit deeper Daisy Raymond, who has some previous experience trying hard to get involved as they make the journey right-handed back for home. A couple of lengths further away to Tapa Frankie, and Big Frank struggling on at the tail. They gallop on into the home straight, little outside the 3, and now the dash is on, and Altior goes well, clears away by 3 to 4, with no response seemingly Dashing Over. Then Double W's is now through into 3rd. Chandler Bing is in 4th, and with every stride this Altior is going further away. Double W shortly will be pressing Dashing Over for 2nd. Back in 4th is Chandler Bing, but it looks all over bar the shouting here. Little outside the furlong they come. Altior for trainer Nicky Henderson. Nico de Boinville is going to romp away with success in the concluding bumper. The form no doubt will be a little bit dubious, seeing how slow they went early on, but nevertheless you can't help to be impressed by the way Altior strutted his stuff up the home straight. That one won really well. Double W's for 2nd, Dashing Over in 3rd, and they were chased in by Chandler Bing and Daisy Raymond.
Odds-on backers never had a moment's worry. Altior won in the style of a pretty useful recruit, albeit that this turned into basically a 4-furlong race instead of a 2-mile, 1-furlong race. But he lobbed away in front, and as soon as Nico de Boinville gave him an inch of rein and taught him his job a little bit, he just put daylight between himself and the others pretty quickly.
Yeah, silly race, but an impressive winner. They were 20 seconds slower than the hurdle races passing the post the first time, and at least they cut 5 seconds off that by the time they got to the winning post, only 15 seconds down. But given that he had to make his own running, such as it was, and he was quite keen in the early stages, and you wondered whether he just might be a sitting duck, he's just proved miles too good. I mean, we've got no idea whether he's beaten anything, given that he's beaten 2 other newcomers, but he's done it in pretty effortless style.
McCoy had him covered, didn't he, right from the start, but basically he lacked the pace to go with him. It was simple as that, because McCoy was ready for Nico de Boinville to give that a kick in the belly. He did it at the same time. One responded and one had a limited response.
Very much, absolutely, yes. One scooted away and the other one's been left flat-footed, and eventually gets passed by Malcolm Jefferson's Double W's for 2nd place. Lord only knows what it's worth, but the winner was impressive, and hopefully he'll go on to better things.
Yeah, he's a grand sort of individual as well. He's a son of High Chaparral. Like Malcolm Jefferson's horse Double W, still only a 4-year-old, so his whole future in front of him. And let's get the SPs.
Altior 4-6 favourite, the winner beating Double W's 13-2. That was run well, actually.